guys, welcome back. As you can tell, I talk a lot with my hands, but today we're going to draw a really simple cup. Any cup, any mug, but let's try to keep it really simple. There's no drawings or anything like that because that will totally distract me and I get very easily distracted. Just using our simple three shading method, which is dark, medium, and light. We're not going to make things complicated and tell you tones and differences and percentages, but we're just going to just start with dark, medium, and light shading. And today I'm using this paper, which is a great multimedia paper, and you can buy it at any craft store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, anywhere. And if you get the 40% off coupon online, great deal. I love having this. I like to buy all different sizes just so I have it so I can carry it around with me. And you can use it with acrylic paint, watercolor, pen and pencil, and it's a great paper that has a really nice weight to it that you can draw. And weight meaning the paper is really thick. It's not thin paper where I sit there and I start erasing things on it and then my paper will rip. So having a nice thickness, meaning it's a heavier weight paper, is actually really good to draw on. So because sometimes I like to draw with ballpoint pen too. But today I'm gonna use my soft white eraser, my trusty 4B pencil, which I love, and my knife just in case, and I have my kneaded eraser. So when I have to take off some color and I don't want to erase the whole thing off, I just kind of use this to blot and dab at it. So today we're going to draw this sketch this mug, and the angle that you're seeing and that I'm seeing is completely different. It'll be slightly changed, but I'm going to basically start off with finding the center of this mug. I'm not going to count the handle yet. I'm just because this is like my main focus, the cup part. So I'm going to find my rough center here. You don't have to take a ruler and measure it out. We'll do that later. I'll torture you with that later, learning how to make a grid and stuff, but we're just going to make a really light cross center. So this is my center, and that's going to go right here, the center of my mug. And this mug, I like to put it in a kind of a square shape. So I'll make a very light square shape. Still holding my pencil with just 2 fingers, because if you try to draw it like this, it makes it really hard to draw nice long straight lines. But if you hold it with these 2 fingers, you're actually more flexible to move your arms around. Because last time I drew something really, really big and my arm hurt. So this is really good arm exercise for you ladies out there. But anyways, so we're gonna draw a nice little square. Get started. And that's gonna be for this part only. And then for this part, I'm gonna use an additional square because it comes down just a little bit and it comes up just a little bit from the bottom. So I'm gonna mark those. And then actually the width of this is about half the width of this cup. So I'm gonna take that, draw it out. So make sure that I have about the same width here. Roughly the same width. It doesn't have to be accurate. Because I want you to be able to draw this when you're in a coffee shop, just hanging out. I doodle on my bills all the time because I hate bills. So I'll doodle on my envelopes of my bills with ballpoint pens, just sometimes to pass the time. So now I have 2 basic shapes, the square and rectangle. And this is where my handle is gonna go, and this is where my cup is gonna go. So after this, I wanna kind of show you that if you tip this cup this way, it's like a perfect circle. But as you start tipping it back to where it was, it starts turning more into an oval shape. So you see this little oval shape. So we're gonna practice ovals. And then because we have this cube already drawn, I'm gonna draw this oval from tip to tip and start in here and just practice. Go back and forth. In college, I had a college professor who made me sit and draw ovals for like 3 hours until I got it right. But I'm not gonna do that. I just want you to go over it enough times where there's several lines and I'm like, oh, I kind of like this one, and I kind of like that one. And you go back and look, use an eraser. That's why we have erasers. Kids these days, they think that they can draw something once and get it perfectly right. But that's not the case. You have to actually practice. And that's okay to practice. That's how you get better at stuff. And so I have my oval on top here. And then, if you look here, the bottom's a circle, so when you turn it, it turns into an oval as well. You don't see it as well because this isn't clear, it's not a see-through cup, but it's still there. So here, I'm gonna find my center of the square. That's my center, and then I'm gonna look at how wide the top part is and how wide the bottom part is. And then I'm going to say that it is about half the size on the bottom. And I'm going to draw my oval down there too. And then we're going to go in and connect the dots. Basically, you have a dot here, you have a dot here, dot here, and dot here, and then you're going to connect the dots. But if you look here, it's a little wider on top and really tapered on the bottom. So I'm going to make this a little wider. And then I have a rough top, rough bottom. I'm going to start doing the handle, sorry. The handle, it's like a big C. There's a little bit of a thickness to it, so it's thicker. But the tricky part's right here. I hate it when it folds over like that and you think that you see the inside, but if you look at the handle, it has one part, this part, a second part, which is the inside, and a third part, which is the outside. So those three parts are really important, and we have to be able to see it before we can draw it. So if you look here, a handle from a straight point side view, it looks like this. That's what it will look like. But if you turn it slightly, you're seeing this side that we see, and then you also see the inside of it. And all you're doing is just adding that inside. And you can sometimes really just see the top part. So you're seeing this is the inside, this is the side, and that's the top. So there's three different sections to it. So we're going to go ahead and sketch that in really quickly. So you see a bunch of lines here. So we're going to go back and erase some lines that we don't need. And it's going to be hard to tell just yet, but when we start going in shade, we're going to be able to see it a little bit better. So right now, I have my little cup. And then some kids, my students, sometimes they forget to erase some of the lines. They just leave all these lines and try to shade it in. And it gets a little messy. And I'm not a clean person, perchance, because you haven't seen my bedroom floor right now. I have like 8 loads of laundry sitting there right now. But I like doing this more, so I'm going to do this today instead of fold laundry for 3 hours. But, okay, so I'm going to go back and erase all the lines I don't need, because those are like cheat guides. They're awesome. And then the great thing is, and don't press so hard when you're drawing. That's the one key I have to tell my students, because they think, oh, I'm going to draw this and it's going to be perfect. So they press really hard, and then they wonder why they can't erase it. Because, honey, you pressed really hard and you dented the paper, and you really can't take it back once you've like pressed really hard to draw. So being really light-handed is key. Sometimes in the beginning, it's really hard to be light-handed. So you have to practice. I have to show my kids show my students how to really sketch light-handed, because when you first start doing your line exercises, they press really, really hard, and then you get really tired, and you have to like really kind of pace yourself so that you don't like hurt your arm. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and instead of having you stare at the back of my head and my hands while I shade this for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna stop, and then I'm just gonna actually go fast forward through it really quickly. And then after this, I'll show you an example of one of my beginner students sketching a cup, the same cup, and one of my advanced students sketching the same cup, and we'll do kind of a side-by-side comparison. And you can be on the beginner side or the advanced side, but your hope is that you may start at the beginner side, but you will end up at the advanced side the more and more you practice. I tell my students that all the time, if you just sit down and you have 5 minutes, draw the apple that you're eating, draw whatever's around you, because art is around us all the time, and that's the only way you can actually get better, if you just practice. And mistakes are okay, so don't worry about that, and I will talk to you guys later, okay? And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, and if you have time, subscribe. Maybe you'll learn something, maybe you won't, but that's okay. We're just here to talk you through a very simple and easy way. Actually, I'm talking really nicely right now, but during class, I'm a little meaner. That's what I hear from other students. But anyways, but be the judge. Let me know, and I will talk to you soon, okay?